Hey, what's happening, all you outsiders out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with Young Justice Outsiders, Season 3, Episode 17, titled First Impressions. Mine was terrible, if you're going by this intro, but this is a new episode, a new go around, and we're finally starting to see Beast Boy kind of start to implement his grand plan he has had developing for episodes now, episodes on end. And of all things, we actually see a holdover from last season Invasion, and this is the Reach ship from the Invasion, and we see it activate underneath the water, underneath the water, underneath the water. We then go into the vast reaches of space where the watchtower is, where Beast Boy explains to our core members, because the old team is now the very influential in terms of the Justice League and all that. So Beast Boy explains his whole situation and how he feels that it's time for certain members of the current team to kind of out themselves to a certain degree, stand at the forefront of the meta-human issue and all that. And while, Calder kind of expresses doubts in this, and he even kind of quotes what the Flash said in like season 1 episode 2, where he explained that the team was supposed to be covert, not really operate so outwardly because they're just young kids. They don't want to put targets on underage heroes. But, that's the funny thing, Calder's been so deep into the hero life, he's forgotten what originally got him to this position, and was being kind of outgoing and, pushing forward the same way that Beast Boy is right now. As Beast Boy points out that the way people like Lex Luthor, Granny Goodness, G. Gordon Godfrey are all putting a spin on the news that is completely undermining the league at every which way and every turn. Beast Boy exposits that, hey, our best bet is to put a team out there that shows that these are young metahumans taking back their lives and stuff along those lines, because they're the next generation of heroes, and they need to go out and actually put a positive light onto the new team, onto the new generation, into this new world of metahuman people out there doing their own thing. As he even points out that, them saving everyone last episode kind of created this positive buzz. He says that the best way of basically, getting the metahuman community in a better spotlight is to kind of put organic situations, young kids just going out there and doing right by the populace, not just with talk, but with deeds, with actions. And he even quotes, what was it, Superboy all that time ago, back in Fireworks. It's just like, get on board or get out of the way. And I love when Superboy Connors just rolls his eyes at that. It's just like, wow, he's just kind of threw my whole thing right back in my face. But honestly, that really shows the progression of Garfield after all this time. Garfield, who, when we were first introduced to him, was just a young kid with no real idea about the superhuman community. And then season 2, he's a kind of trainee. He's kind of getting into it, kind of starting to adapt and understand. Where here, Garfield's at the forefront of things. And honestly, this even harkens to mid 2000s Garfield, where he started to actually kind of lead the Teen Titans for a while. So honestly, I love the way that they're adapting him into the story and these situations and the like. And most of them even, say that, honestly, they have there's no reason not to just be out in the open because they're already so well known. That became kind of the problem with Beast Boy's inclusion, because he's just that well known that covert operations just seems to kind of not really be something that would work out too well for him. He's a celebrity. What you gonna do about keeping a lid on his involvement? Much like the situation in Russia, it just, it was not going to take because too many people know who he is. And, that's the basis for most of them. Virgil has never hid his identity as Static for the most part. Bart has already kind of been known, and, he's not great at keeping a lid on who he is. Cass doesn't wear a mask. Brion is already known to the public, and Markovia and the world know he's a metahuman, so whatever he gets involved in is going to be public knowledge. Jaime was already outed because of the reach and all that good stuff. So, they're the best people to just go out there and do their thing. Meanwhile, people like, Tracy, she still tries to keep her life on the DL because she's not in the spotlight that often. Forager more than likely doesn't want to do it just because he's still new to everything. And Violet just, not ready to just be out there in the spotlight. She's still a little too new to things. And Tara, well, considering the nature of Tara's extracurricular activities, I doubt she'd want to be in the spotlight as well. But seeing this, ignite something within Calder. He starts to rethink what got him started, him and the original team started, how they operated, and what brought them to their pinnacle. So he agrees to this. It's just that they will still operate underneath Miss Martian and report to her just on the DL of things. So we actually get to see their base of operations. It ain't Titan's Tower, but it'll have to be the next best thing. And this is a place that Garfield calls the Hub, with all the amenities that they'll need: Zeta tubes, med bay, well, eventually, various different rooms so Brion can finally have his own place to stay, which Vic also wanted for the longest time. Forager is a little bit apprehensive as he doesn't want to be so apart from the bioship and all that good stuff, but now a lot of the members who are just crashing at the Harper residence or at the Connor residence can actually just actually have their own homes, their own private lives and all of that. Because by God, I've been in dorm rooms, and sharing rooms with people is a little too much. And even when they ask who's funding all of this, Garfield even gets in a few licks on the fact that, well, Gretchen Good is funding all of this. I may be under contract, but that doesn't mean I can't use her money in order to actually put it to something constructive. And it's just like, man, Beast Boy, you are dynamite these past few episodes. I'm so glad because, you start to wonder what they were leading up to with all the, media stuff going on with Garfield, but here it's just like, yes, Garfield is really showing his stuff, showing what he's made of, showing what he can do, and showing great foresight and planning. And it's even decided that Dr. Helga Jace will be put in as a chaperone to all of the kids, just to kind of keep an eye on their teenage shenanigans. And Helga's even more just happy because they can be kind of like a family. Although I continue to be a little bit unsettled by the way Helga acts at times, because she really wants to be a family, togetherness and all that, but she's still got something going on the side, so it really makes you wonder. We then cut to a small town in Maine called Brooklyn, which I kind of wish they didn't name it Brooklyn, because it, Brooklyn, New York, it just kind of makes me go, oh, which Brooklyn are you talking about? But we are introduced to some characters who are kind of reimaginings of some older characters from back in the 40s. Characters who were involved with the Newsboy Legion. This legion of orphans who would go around selling newspapers, who had a close association with the superhero Guardian, as well as Superman and Jimmy Olsen. And we're introduced to a reimagining of one of them, a cop named Scrapper, who was a feisty tyke in his original appearance, and he talks to gender-bent version of a character called Gabby, who's on her way to meet up with someone who's involved with their version of the Newsboy Legion, the News Girls Legion. What was it? character's name was Big Words, and he offers her a ride. That is before suddenly their town comes under attack by these Reach drone ships out of nowhere. And as everyone's chilling out at the hub, Megan alerts them to this report coming in from Brooklyn that Gabby is filming on her phone begging for help. And as Garfield goes in to get the team together, we actually see that Aquaman is already on the scene trying to take him down. But we also see that there are two other Reach drone ships as well. So the team goes in, and doing their best, taking them down with precision attacks. Honestly, they're doing a bang up job, especially in terms of Blue Beetle, who's able to fully disable the ships with nothing but a touch. And everyone is gathered around seeing them, cheering them on, at the Harper residence, at the hub, with all those who stayed behind. We also have a scene with Jay, and it kind of looks like Jay's wife, Joan, is not looking too good. I'm surprised that I'm only just now hearing about this, because, to find out Joan's just in such dire straits is very almost off-putting. Makes me wonder, is she just sickly? Is this just old age? What's happening with her? But he's watching, and we also have at Taos, at the youth center, everyone's watching as well. With the Newsgirl Legion just filming everything. And honestly, that's a great way to reimagining Paperboys, because what's the best way to go about this? Just blogging, putting it up on the online, so people can see the news live and in person and unfiltered by any kind of like social bias and all that. A great way to reimagine such an kind of long gone situation. But while this is going on and everybody seems to have that well in hand and handled, Artemis makes it known to the girls that she is actually in fact kind of gonna miss them. It'll be great to have the room back. They'll actually miss having them around and just hanging out and all that good stuff. So she's proposes, had to find the word there, she proposes that they just kind of hang out and just eat ice cream and have a bit of a sleepover, slumber party. And as the Reach ships are all taken down, the Newsgirl Legion asks, oh, who are you young heroes? Are you part of the Justice League and all that? And, Garb, distances himself from the League, saying that, hey, no, we're just some young heroes, and he introduces the team, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Static, Geoforce, all that good stuff. And it's just like, we're just, a bunch of kids out here trying to do what's right. And we even find out, kind of like a Scooby-Doo moment, because there are a lot of references to like Scooby-Doo, specifically the Mystery Incorporated series with the sheriff and Troy Baker trying to emulate Patrick Warburton, when he did the sheriff in that, Sheriff Stone, I think it was. And we'll even see one of the fathers of the Newsgirl Legion, Tommy, her dad, Thomas Tompkins, is kind of like Fred's dad in that series, the, overly restrictive mayor of the town, just really kind of down on him. And, Tommy even kind of looks like a gender-bent version of Fred. And, Blue Beetle unmasks one of the Reach pilots, and we find out it's Whisper O'Dare. And she even says, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. So it's just like really weird references to Mystery Incorporated. I think one of the writers was actually on with that too. I don't remember. I don't think Vetti was involved with the writing of Mystery Incorporated. I'd have to do a little bit more research and all of that. But it's such a fun little moment and all that good stuff. But they unmask Whisper O'Dare and her allies, who are actually members of the team called Scorpio. Cairo DeFrey, member of Scorpio, and their leader, Scorpia. And she didn't originally have a last name in that series, but they gave her the last name Adair, making it so that she has some relation to a Whisper Adair. So, a very nice little Easter egg if you're paying attention. And they were just controlling these reach ships in order to sell them to the highest bidder. That's what Intergang does. They, get various alien technology and sell it to the highest bidder. But we see a beacon go off in one of the ships, and this actually seems to respond into one of the major reach ships. Meanwhile, Mayor Thomas, comes out just yelling and whining and complaining, just, rah, rah, this is what we were being warned about by Luthor. You have no right to be here. You didn't go through the proper channels and all that bureaucracy BS and all that stuff. But, Calder makes it known that they are not in league with the League. They're their own thing and all that good stuff. But he's just like, oh, well, they were vigilantes then. Look what all the damage that they did. And, Tommy even tries to talk her dad down, but he's just like, oh, I've had enough of your news girl legion and whatever. You gotta wake up and smell the roses. And even when Sheriff Scrapper tries to be like, well, they helped us out. Despite the damages, it could have been a lot worse. But Thomas is having none of it, and even tells Scrapper to just arrest them because they're illegal vigilantes. They are not sanctioned by the government in any way. And while Geoforce calls them out on this BS, Garfield's just like, no, we're not here to fight the good people. If we have to be arrested in order to show what we're made of, so be it. Only for the major reach ship to come into Brooklyn and start just blasting them up. And Blue Beetle lets it be known that, hey, that it came in response to the miniature ships that Whisper and her gang were, piloting. And she makes it known that she had no idea that that was even a thing or even a potential situation. And she even suggests that they call in the Justice League to handle this, showing her true colors. Whisper Adair, a former member of the League of Assassins, at least in terms of the comics, not showing as much spine ever since she joined Intergang. But Thomas is having none of that. Well, Tompkins, I keep calling him Thomas, it's Tompkins. It's just like, no, I called in the Air Force. They will come in and take these things down. And they promptly come in with some drones and get blasted right out of the sky. And, Static makes it known. It's just like, look, they'll probably come in with even more forces, and if they bring that thing down, it'll come down on top of the city. That's dangerous. But Tompkins is having none of it. He's just like, no vigilantes, none of your shenanigans, none of that. No League, no nothing. And so with Aquaman's hands basically being tied, Garfield's just like, well, we are not part of the League, and we're vigilantes, and we're going to be arrested anyway, so you can just arrest us when we save your town. So, he talks to Blue Beetles. Blue Beetle says the only way to take it down is from the inside, so they race off in order to stop the Reach ship. Meanwhile, with some thunder and lightning going on in, I think it's Star City they're at, Leanne is a little shocked and, scared and all that good stuff. And seeing this, Tara kind of flashes back to her parents and all that good stuff. So you really gotta, that's the one thing that hasn't really been put on display too much is Tara's relationship with her parents. How does she feel about this? Because we're not really getting enough of Tara's mindset. Because, in various other medias, in the original series, Tara, we only knew about her as just a troubled young lady who ultimately went mad with her power. In the Teen Titans series, she was very troubled with her power, and while the comics exposited that yes, she was a princess in that continuity too, and we even met Geoforce in the based off of the animated series Teen Titans, the comic book spin-off of that, Geoforce had gone looking for her, and she had ultimately wasn't able to control her powers or anything like that. She was troubled in a different way, but ultimately a good person. And even when it came to the Teen Titans Judas Contract movie, again, we didn't know too much about Tara. It's just that she was saved by Deathstroke and was very indebted to him. But here we're actually getting to see her relationship with her parents, that she deeply cared for them. And what is she going to think when she finds out that Deathstroke was in league with the very people who killed her parents? Like, I wonder if that's gonna, help to sway Tara away from being this double agent, and not having Judas Contract and not enacted in media for like the third time around now. But Artemis has to hand over Leanne to Tara to take care of, as Violet's a little shooken up about all the thunder and lightning going on, but Tara doesn't seem to mind, so we're definitely seeing some silent characteristics from Tara, as she doesn't really even speak throughout most of this. That's the funny thing, Tara pretty much doesn't even say a word throughout this entire episode, but it's through actions, facial moments, stuff like that, that really speaks 1,000 words. Meanwhile, the team manages to get onto the Reach ship. Blue Beetle says he'll be able to shut it down, but that'll cut off the engines, bringing it down upon the town. And even worse, the Air Force is getting close, and the ship's weapons are starting to lock on them. So Beast Boy tells Blue Beetle, hey, we're going to try to throttle the engines, get it to an unpopular section of the town, and then bring it down. So Blue Beetle does that. They throttle away from the town with the Newsgirl Legion filming everything as it goes, and bringing it down on a nearby lake. And as everyone wonders, because the team was still in there, are they okay? Out comes the team, just showing that they had everything under control, much to the delight of Aquaman. You made Papa Calder proud. I love it. I just love all of that. Calder's just like, they did it. They're truly the team. And, Beast Boy even accepts that, okay, go ahead and arrest us. The Sheriff Scrapper's just like, no, I'm not doing that. And he even cites that under the Good Samaritan law of their state, that with everything that they did, they broke no laws. They did nothing that would be an arrestable offense, much to the dismay of Mayor Tompkins. But when the Newsgirl Legion comes in and asks, it's just like, well, if you're not a Young Justice League, oh man, that line really kind of grilled my nuts a little bit, because I'm just like, damn it, I've been waiting all this time for them to finally be called Young Justice, and y'all just passed that by, like, but she's just like, well, if you're not a Young Justice League, then who are you? And Garfield declares that, well, if we're not with the League, and if we're not in line with the law, then we'll be outsiders. We'll be outside the law. We will do things that we need to do in order to keep our planet safe, to keep our people safe. Either get on board or get out of the way. And, Gabby naturally just, even tweets that out, or whatever their equivalent is, with the hashtag, we are all outsiders. Which is brilliant, honestly. It's just like, man, Vetty, Wiseman, you guys are really going hard with this social media stuff, and honestly, it works. Today's climate, dude, that completely works, honestly. And I just love that, because they're trending. They're trending out the wazoo. And when Artemis sees the title of what their team is called, Outsider, she kind of digs it for a little bit. But Tara contemplates a few things as she goes and puts Leanne to bed, and she gets in contact with Deathstroke that the Outsiders are actually part of the team in the League, and she wonders what Deathstroke would want her to do, but he just wants her to keep reporting to him. So we'll have to wait and see what Tara plans from here on out. Because honestly, I feel like there's the possibility for us to get the same twist in the end of season 1, where we think that Tara is actually evil, because so much media has just, with her in it, has just always made her a bad guy. We might actually get to see her actually turn against them, and, prove to actually be a viable asset to the team by showing that she isn't willing to betray them with everything that happened. I mean, again, that flashback to her, thinking back to her parents when she saw Artemis rocking and caring for Leanne, it's just like, no, any trace of evil that could have been in her has just been subverted. So it's just like, I better not see Tara go down in some underground bunker taking on Deathstroke and us to lose Tara through that. Like, no, she better survive through the end of this into season 4. Also, season 4 has been announced. But we then cut back to the Batcave in Gotham City, where we actually come to find out that the League had actually, well, the secret part of the League, allied with Batman, had already known about the goings-on with Intergang and the Reach technology. In truth, they had already, heard about everything that they were doing because of Lagoon Boy, and them going in and apprehending Bruno Mannheim. And because of Oracle searching throughout the dark web, they knew about Whisper O'Dare using the Reach technology and using Brooklyn as a testing ground to show off the capabilities of these weapons. Aqualad was sent in to kind of take a dive for the most part. That way the outsiders could come in and disable these various devices, taking them offline, because that was the best way to show off. Blue Beetle was the best way of showing what they could do, but with the team in, they could also show it off in a way to bolster their reputation and get the public opinion on their side. But the actual launch of the ship wasn't foreseen, but the team actually managed to show that they were fully able to take down this the Reach ship and keep it incapacitated, doing everything that they needed the team to do, and then some. And it's even proven that it works with all the positive buzz on social media. And it went so well to the point where Aqualad started to wonder if maybe they should bring, Beast Boy in on these meetings and their plans, which, Miss Martian says is against for the most part, because she's just like, well, no, this isn't his thing. All the secrecy, all the cover-ups, all that's not what he's about. He already has his own mission and he's doing it wonderfully. And we are benefiting from it. It's going above and beyond everything that we need to happen in this moment. A great episode, so much detail, so many, ulterior and outside moments and all that good stuff. Just absolutely fantastically done. I am actually really just taken aback by how good the writing just continues to be. Even for a less than overly interesting episode, it was still just great to watch, great to see, great to experience everything here. And I'm just really glad that Beast Boy's whole, request for them to be, outsiders, to not be bound by social change and all that. I'm glad we actually got to see that in a good, well done capacity. Honestly, Garfield is becoming far and away one of the better characters of this entire season, despite the fact that the real outsiders should have been Geoforce, Halo, Katana, Metamorpho, Batman. But here, with what I'm seeing, it's a great job, it's great stuff, and I can't wait to see what happens next, because it really does raise a lot of questions as to where we go from here on out. How much more Reach technology might be tucked away? Will Intergang ever actually be a true threat for once? Seriously. Beast Boy, his whole situation with the Metateens is really taken off, but I wonder how far will that actually be able to go before the light intervenes and starts up some more trouble. And, with them going all get on board or get out of the way, is this the true realization of the team from wherever they came from? They started out as this, just sidekicks wanting to be a little bit more involved, to a covert squad, to now being a little bit more out in the spotlight. How much more of the other younger heroes will actually get to do that? And, will that actually carry over into the next season, now that that's getting ready to, is in production and all that good stuff. But There's also the question about, where's Tara gonna go from there? How much, what's she going to end up doing with everything that she's, been involved with and experienced? It really makes me wonder how far a character could possibly go. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. If you've made it this far, good on ya. I must have made a good first impression. But definitely tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below so I might better myself for future videos. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another Young Justice Outsiders episode review, as I'll definitely keep doing it right up until season 4. Oh man, I'm so thrilled by that. Oh yes, it's so good, it's so good. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. You'll find me everywhere, for better or for worse. I've even done some Young Justice or Teen Titan-esque artwork, so definitely check that out on DeviantArt and Tumblr and all that good stuff. And until the next video, you just need to remember that your first impressions are best, but sometimes a good amount of time, faith, and goodwill can really show what you've got. Until next time, much like Bruce Lee here, I think it's time for bed. Bye-bye.